At exactly 2:17 a.m., Amina stared at her ceiling, wide awake. Not because she wasn't tired, but because her dream was slipping. Again. Her phone screen glowed beside her pillow, an email still open. "Congratulations! You have been accepted!" Her heart should have been exploding with joy. Instead, it felt heavy. Because right below that line was the sentence that refused to leave her mind. Offer conditional upon achieving a minimum IELTS band score of 7.5. Amina had everything. Top grades, recommendation letters, a personal statement that made even her strictest teacher emotional. Everything except IELTS. And the deadline? 3 weeks. The next morning, Amina sat at the edge of her bed, scrolling through IELTS sample tests. Listening section confusing accents. Reading long passages that felt like decoding secrets. Writing timed pressure that made her mind go blank. Speaking, the thought alone made her stomach twist. She whispered to herself, "Maybe this just isn't for me." And that's how dreams die. Not loudly, but quietly. 2 days later, Amina almost gave up. She had taken a mock test online. Band 6. Her chest tightened. "That's it," she said, closing her laptop. 3 weeks can't fix this. But life has a strange way of interrupting surrender. That same afternoon, while waiting for a matatu, she overheard 2 girls talking behind her. "Wait, you got 8.5? How?" "It's Marble," the other replied casually. "She trains people intensely. Like, seriously intense. But it works." Amina turned slowly. "Sorry," she said, her voice shaky but determined. "Who is Marble?" That question changed everything. The first time Amina met Marble, she wasn't impressed. She didn't look like some miracle tutor. No fancy office, no dramatic speech. Just calm eyes and a simple question. "Why do you want to go abroad?" Amina blinked. I got accepted into a university." "That's not what I asked," Marble said. Silence. Then something cracked. "I want a different life," she admitted. "I want to grow, to prove I can do more, to help my family, to see the world." Marble nodded. "Good," she said, "because IELTS doesn't test English." Amina frowned. "Then what does it test?" "Pressure, discipline, strategy." He leaned forward. "And right now, you don't have those." That stung. But it was true. 3 weeks, Marble continued. That's not enough time to learn English. Amina's hope dropped again. "But," she added, "it's enough time to master the test." Her eyes lifted. "Only if you're ready to suffer for it." And just like that, training began. Day 1 was brutal. Amina spoke for 1 minute in the speaking test and froze. "Again," Marble said. She tried again. Again. By the 6th attempt, her voice was shaking. "I can't," she whispered. Marble didn't raise her voice. "Then your dream ends here." Silence. Amina clenched her fists. Again. Day 4. She cried. The reading passages felt impossible. Time kept running out. "I'm too slow," she said, wiping her tears. "No," Marble replied. "You're thinking too much." She showed her techniques. Skimming, scanning, eliminating answers. It felt like unlocking cheat codes to a game she didn't understand before. Day 7. Something shifted. Her listening score improved. Her confidence grew. For the first time, she smiled after a session. "Don't celebrate yet," Marble said. "There's still a gap between where you are and where you need to be." Day 10. The twist came. Amina got sick. Fever, weakness, no energy. 3 days lost. Panic returned. I'm finished, she said over the phone. Marble's response? No, you're being tested. Day 14. Back to training. Harder than before. Marble increased the pressure. Full tests every day. Strict timing. No excuses. You don't rise in comfort, he said. You rise in pressure. Day 18. Mock test result. Band 7.5. Amina stared at the paper. Her hands trembled. I did it. Marble shook her head. No, you're close. Her smile faded. You're not going for just enough, she continued. You're going for excellence. Day 20. Amina booked her exam. No turning back. That night, she couldn't sleep. Fear whispered again. What if you fail? But this time, something answered back. What if you don't? Exam day. Everything felt louder. The ticking clock. The turning pages. The examiner's voice. But Amina was different now. Calmer. Sharper. Ready. Speaking test. The examiner smiled. Tell me about a challenge you faced. Amina paused. Then she said, 3 weeks ago, I thought my dream was over. And for the next 2 minutes, she spoke not perfectly, but confidently. Like someone who had already won. Results day. Her hands shook as she opened the email. She almost couldn't breathe. Then she saw it. Overall band score, 8.5. She froze. Then laughed. Then cried. Then laughed again. She did it. Not because she was the smartest, but because she refused to quit. A few days later, she walked into Marble's office, placed the result on the table, and smiled. You were right. Marble glanced at the paper, then at her. No, she said calmly. You were ready. Somewhere right now, someone is just like Amina. Qualified, capable, full of dreams, but stuck because of one exam, one obstacle, one fear. Don't let IELTS be the reason your dream stays a dream. Contact Marble Nyahela for intensive IELTS training. 072-541-5913. marblenyahela@gmail.com. Because sometimes all you need is the right pressure and the right guide. And 3 weeks can change your life.